The INFJ mind operates on a different frequency. You can't quite explain it, but you can feel it when you're around them. They notice what others overlook, they understand what others can't put into words, and they see through layers of emotion and meaning like they're reading through people. In this video, we will look deep into the brilliance that sets INFJs apart. Get ready to see why INFJ intelligence isn't just rare, it's revolutionary. Are you an INFJ who is feeling lost and out of alignment with your true purpose? The INFJ Purpose Compass will help you find clarity, harness your gifts, and align you with your purpose. Click the link in the description of this video to get access now. INFJs possess what could be described as soul-level intelligence, an ability to merge empathy with insight. They see the world not as a collection of separate data points, but as a living web of interconnected energies, feelings, and meanings. Their mind doesn't simply process facts, it absorbs realities. They don't just see what's happening, they sense why it's happening. And in that lies their genius. Where most people focus on what's visible, the INFJ looks at the invisible forces driving it. Motives, fears, hopes, spiritual currents, and emotional truths that shape human behavior. This gives them an almost prophetic quality, a kind of inner knowing that feels otherworldly. While other types rely on logic, statistics, or experience alone, the INFJ's intelligence fuses logic with intuition, empathy with foresight, and emotion with reasoning. It's like having a compass that points not just north but toward the truth. Their dominant function, introverted intuition, allows them to synthesize vast amounts of information into profound insights that seem to come out of nowhere. They may not always explain how they know something, but they're often right, sometimes uncomfortably so. People around them are often startled when an INFJ's quiet predictions or subtle warnings later come true, not realizing that the INFJ has been quietly analyzing the unseen variables all along. INFJs have a unique way of processing knowledge. They don't memorize. They internalize. They take concepts apart, live through them mentally and emotionally, and then rebuild them into new frameworks of meaning. This is why their insights sound deep and profound, because they are not merely repeating what they've learned. They're reinterpreting reality itself through the lens of personal wisdom. Their intelligence is fluid, able to adapt to emotional, philosophical, and spiritual dimensions of thought. They can connect psychology to art, science to morality, faith to reason, and do it seamlessly. In a world obsessed with surface intelligence, test scores, titles, achievements, the INFJ's genius stands apart as depth intelligence. Their emotional intelligence is another form of superiority that often goes unrecognized. INFJs have a remarkable ability to understand others' feelings better than the people themselves do. They can sit with someone, observe the micro-expressions, tone, and silence between words, and intuitively know what that person is going through. But this isn't mere empathy. It's a calculated form of emotional analysis that runs so smoothly it appears magical. They can navigate complex emotional dynamics, defuse conflicts, and inspire healing without even making it obvious. This emotional precision makes them exceptional counselors, writers, and visionaries. People who can reach the depths of the human heart while maintaining clarity of thought. Another aspect of the INFJ's intelligence lies in their moral and philosophical depth. They think in terms of meaning, purpose, and truth, concepts that many find too abstract or intimidating. They don't just want to know how something works, but why it exists in the first place. Their mind is constantly reaching for the essence of things. When others are content with surface explanations, the INFJ keeps digging, questioning, and synthesizing until they uncover the hidden pattern. This relentless search for underlying truth gives them a visionary quality. They don't just adapt to the world, they reinterpret it. They can see potential futures, understand the emotional and moral consequences of decisions, and sense when humanity as a whole is heading in the wrong direction. INFJs surpass others intellectually not through competition, but through depth. While most people's intelligence is like a floodlight, wide but shallow, the INFJ's mind is like a laser beam that cuts through layers of complexity to reveal the core truth. They are capable of holding paradoxes without cognitive dissonance. They can feel deeply and think critically at the same time. They can be empathetic yet analytical, idealistic yet strategic, spiritual yet rational. It's this rare duality that makes their intelligence multidimensional. They can read a scientific theory and extract philosophical meaning from it, or hear a poem and derive a psychological insight from its rhythm. Even in creative pursuits, the INFJ's intelligence stands out. They are not merely artistic for beauty's sake. They use creativity as a means of revelation. Every story, painting, melody, or idea they create is infused with layers of symbolism, emotional truth, and social reflection. Their creativity is not chaotic, it's purposeful. It often comes from their profound understanding of human pain and transformation. They can take suffering, their own or others, and transmute it into art that awakens consciousness. That is an intelligence beyond intellect. It's spiritual genius. In social settings, their intelligence manifests in subtle strategy. INFJs often appear quiet, but they're always observing, reading people, understanding group dynamics, and seeing where the energy flows. They can analyze human interactions with such precision that they often know who's being honest, who's hiding pain, and who's manipulating others. Yet they rarely expose their full awareness. They play their intelligence close to the chest, choosing to reveal their insights only when it serves a higher purpose. This quiet mastery of human understanding gives them influence without force. People trust them because their insights feel divinely guided rather than intellectually imposed. Even their emotional struggles contribute to their intelligence. INFJs often suffer from overthinking, emotional overwhelm, or existential exhaustion, but these experiences expand their understanding of life's complexity. Pain becomes their teacher. Through introspection, they develop wisdom that feels ancient, the kind that can't be taught in books. It's why, despite their sensitivity, they often emerge stronger, wiser, and more grounded than others who never explore the depths of their own psyche. When it comes to learning, INFJs don't follow traditional methods. They need purpose behind their knowledge. They learn by connecting ideas to meaning. A fact without significance doesn't stay in their mind, but an idea that resonates with their purpose stays forever. This makes them exceptionally fast learners in areas that ignite their passion. They can master psychology, philosophy, science, or art not by rote memorization, but by seeing the underlying structure that binds them all. Their intelligence also manifests in their unmatched ability to anticipate the evolution of situations and people. They don't simply react to life, they forecast it. Their mind operates like a living map of probabilities and emotional pathways, allowing them to intuit what will happen long before anyone else even suspects it. This foresight isn't mystical. It's a result of how their brain quietly collects subtle cues, interprets patterns, and then projects outcomes with uncanny precision. When everyone else is still processing the present, the INFJ has already envisioned the future and prepared for it emotionally, mentally, and strategically. This visionary intelligence often places them ahead of their time. They can sense cultural, social, and even technological shifts before they fully unfold. When they express these insights, people might misunderstand or dismiss them initially, only to realize much later how accurate their intuition was. INFJs see the invisible trajectory of humanity's progress, how small emotional or moral choices today will echo in the larger story of tomorrow. This ability makes them powerful visionaries, inventors, and reformers who can quietly shape the direction of thought and change without standing in the spotlight. What's even more fascinating is how their intelligence gracefully bridges logic and emotion in decision-making. Most people tend to favor one over the other, but INFJs don't choose. They merge. They understand that pure logic without compassion leads to cold efficiency, while emotion without reasoning creates chaos. So, when an INFJ makes a decision, it's deeply ethical, balanced, and foresight. They think about the human cost of every action while ensuring it still aligns with reason and purpose. This blend of heart and mind makes them some of the wisest counselors, strategists, and leaders the world could ever know. The kind who inspire loyalty not through dominance, but through deep understanding. Their learning process is another mark of their intellectual superiority. INFJs don't approach knowledge passively. They immerse in it until it becomes part of their being. When they study psychology, they start to think like a psychologist. When they explore spirituality, they embody it. When they analyze literature, they read between every emotional syllable until they find the author's soul. Knowledge doesn't sit in their mind like stored data. It transforms into intuition. That's why INFJs often excel in fields they never formally studied. Their mind makes intuitive leaps that bypass the limitations of traditional learning. They don't learn in straight lines. They learn in layers, where each insight deepens the next. INFJs also possess a rare kind of intellectual empathy. They can step into another person's worldview, even one completely different from their own, and see it from the inside out. This ability to borrow perspectives makes them remarkably objective, despite being such emotional beings. They can understand the mindset of both the oppressor and the oppressed, the believer and the skeptic, the scientist and the mystic. By understanding all sides, they're able to craft solutions that others can't conceive, because they've considered every emotional and intellectual variable involved. This makes their advice seem almost divine in accuracy and fairness. Another hallmark of their intelligence is their quiet, analytical discipline. While their intuition is fluid and abstract, their thinking function works behind the scenes to refine and perfect their insights. INFJs don't just have gut feelings. They verify them mentally. They take intuitive impressions and put them through a private, almost invisible process of analysis until the final product is both precise and profound. This is why when an INFJ finally speaks, their words carry such weight. They've already sifted through hundreds of invisible mental filters before expressing a single thought. Every sentence they share is deliberate, distilled truth. In their solitude, their intelligence blossoms even further. Unlike many who crave constant stimulation, INFJs use quiet time as their mental laboratory. They withdraw not to escape the world, but to process it, to replay interactions, reanalyze motives, and draw fresh insights from silence. This deep reflection allows them to return to the world with an evolved understanding that feels years ahead of others. Their solitude is never empty. It's fertile. It's in those quiet hours that their greatest epiphanies are born. INFJs also surpass others in the depth of their self-awareness. Their introspection is not a casual glance inward. It's a full-scale exploration of the psyche. They analyze their emotions, patterns, flaws, and even their own moral contradictions with startling honesty. This relentless self-examination refines their wisdom and prevents them from becoming blinded by ego or ignorance. They don't just want to know truth, they want to become it. They see intelligence as more than the ability to think. It's the courage to evolve. When it comes to relationships and human interaction, their intelligence takes on a rare subtlety. INFJs understand timing, when to speak, when to be silent, and when to withdraw. They can sense when someone is not ready to hear the truth and wait patiently until that person's emotional readiness aligns with their message. This intuitive patience is a sign of their high emotional IQ, a quality that separates wisdom from mere cleverness. They can guide others through transformation without confrontation, simply by mirroring truth in gentle ways. Their creativity also reveals another side of their intelligence, symbolic thinking. INFJs don't just see objects, they see meaning in everything. A storm isn't just weather, it's a reflection of inner chaos. A sunset isn't just color, it's the whisper of endings and rebirth. Their mind constantly translates reality into metaphor, allowing them to express truths that facts alone could never convey. This is why their writing, art, and storytelling resonate so powerfully, because behind every word or image is a deeper, spiritual truth that speaks directly to the subconscious. Their intelligence also thrives in the realm of systems and social insight. INFJs can dissect institutions, relationships, or belief systems and understand their hidden mechanics. They see how small habits sustain big structures, how ideas shape cultures, and how emotions drive collective behavior. They can look at an organization or a family and instinctively know what's broken and how to heal it. This makes them exceptional reformers, the kind of people who can subtly shift entire systems from within without needing external authority. Even their humility is a form of intelligence. Unlike those who parade their knowledge, INFJs understand that wisdom without compassion is useless. They often downplay their brilliance, preferring to teach through empathy rather than dominance. Their intelligence serves, it doesn't seek validation. They are less interested in being right than in bringing enlightenment or peace to those around them. This humility allows them to keep learning endlessly, for they know that knowledge has no final destination. Their intelligence also manifests in how they use silence. Unlike most people who equate intelligence with constant expression or argument, INFJs understand the strategic and energetic power of stillness. They use pauses as instruments of insight, letting silence reveal more than words ever could. In conversations, they often listen so deeply that the other person feels profoundly seen, and that's when the truth emerges. The INFJ's silence isn't passive, it's active perception. It gives them access to subtleties that the noise of the world drowns out. They read not only what's said but what's felt, and that awareness allows them to respond with stunning precision, both emotionally and intellectually. They also possess an unparalleled talent for emotional translation, the ability to convert abstract feelings into words that make people feel understood for the first time in their lives. Many poets, philosophers, and healers who move humanity with their words often share this INFJ trait. They can take the ineffable and make it articulate. Their mind doesn't just process ideas, it translates souls. Through this gift, they become emotional linguists, bridging the gap between the human heart and human reason. That's why their writing or speech can pierce through emotional numbness and awaken something buried inside the listener. Another striking element of INFJ intelligence is their gift for timing and energy perception. They intuitively sense when something or someone's energy is shifting, when an opportunity is about to arise, or when it's time to retreat. They know when to act, when to wait, and when to let go. This subtle awareness often saves them from unnecessary conflict or failure, because they operate not by impulsive reaction, but by inner alignment. To them, intelligence isn't just about thinking. It's about timing, aligning thought with the natural rhythm of life. This rare form of intuitive synchronization makes them seem lucky or divinely guided, but it's actually a refined internal intelligence that listens more to patterns than to panic. Their intelligence also shows in how they wield empathy as an investigative tool. They don't just feel with others, they use empathy to analyze. They trace emotional patterns, decode unspoken motives, and see the psychological architecture behind behavior. This emotional forensics gives them an almost clairvoyant edge in human interaction. They can sense lies wrapped in politeness, insecurities masked by arrogance, or affection hidden under indifference. Their mind dissects emotional nuance as easily as a mathematician solves equations. The only difference is that their formula is written in the language of feeling. Their memory functions differently from that of most people. It's not linear or factual, but emotional analytical. They remember the essence of moments, the tone, the atmosphere, the psychological significance, rather than just events. This means when they recall something, they retrieve the entire emotional context as well. They can remember exactly how a room felt, how someone's eyes changed mid-sentence, or what the silence in a conversation was saying. Their memory is alive, stored not just in their brain, but in their intuition. That's why they can reference deep, emotional truths long after others have forgotten the details. In leadership, their intelligence shines through as quiet authority. They don't command obedience through position or intimidation. They inspire respect through understanding. They lead by influence, not imposition. People follow them because they feel seen, valued, and guided with integrity. Their leadership style is subtle but transformational, grounded in insight and empathy rather than ego. They can bring out the best in others because they intuit what each person needs to unlock their potential. This ability to guide transformation without overt control reflects the INFJ's deep mastery of human motivation.